Okay, today I'm just going to make a quick video testing the terminal ballistics of the Swift A-Frame and the Nosler Partition. These are the two rounds we're going to use. The A-Frame is on the left and it looks like that, and then we have the partition on the right. These are both 160 grain. 7mm, and the cartridge we're going to load them in today is the 280 Ackley Improved. These should be going a little bit over 3,000 feet per second. I've already worked up the load before and shot at paper, and I actually got the best accuracy at the max charge, which is great. So they've got 49 grains of H4831 shortcut. But I'm curious, I've not found much about the comparison between the terminal ballistics of both of these rounds. Their construction is very similar. If you look right here, that's the A-frame, and the partition is very similar. So they have a partition between two cores, lead cores, and that should lead to very high weight retention and good penetration. I'm wanting these to be an elk killing load. So what we're going to do is, I've got these already loaded. We're just going to shoot them. I've got 2 watermelons, and I'm going to make a meat target for each, and we're just going to shoot them one at each target. That's because I think they're going to destroy the target with just one round. So we're going to shoot one at one target, one at the other, and then look at our weight retention and our what it does to the target, and then how good it penetrated. So let's get them loaded in the rifle and shoot them at the target. Okay, what we've got here is as close as I can get to a shameless copy of Paul Harrell's meat target. I'm trying to get a somewhat analog of an elk. What I've got is a very long watermelon for the lung tissue. I've got ribs. These are pork spare ribs. I'd rather have beef ribs, but they didn't have any at the store that I was at. So we have pork spare ribs in the front and the back. I did put a pork steak in front of the ribs on the front to add a little more muscle tissue, and then I have some old deer hide. This is a winter coated deer, so it's got a pretty good thick hair coat on the front and the back. And then I've got a fleece bullet stock. So we're gonna shoot the partitions into one and the A-frames into another one. I've got enough to make 2 of them. So let's go shoot it and see what happens. So let's just see what happens. So let's shoot a fast one, one of the 59 grain 4831 SC, and this is a Swift A-frame. Okay, this is our Swift A-frame. Looks like we've pierced the deer hide. Oh, our lung tissue is just destroyed. I'm not sure, maybe bullet went through right here somewhere. Okay, there's our front ribs. Doesn't feel, well, it caught a rib, but a little one. Okay. Once again, our lung tissue is absolutely just, it's amazing. And we went through a rib on the backside, broke it. And there's our exit wound right there. Looks like we may have caught it, so that's good. Okay, let's shoot with the 160 grain partition. Let's see what that does for us. Okay, we got the 160 grain partition. Missed the tape. Let's see the hole right there. Okay, this was the A-frame. That's the partition. Now this is the front set of ribs. And just like the other one, it's totally just split that watermelon. Now these ribs hadn't been shot. Okay, there's the bullet right there. So, smashed a rib right here. Smaller hole on the back side than the front side, but it did smash a rib. I mean, it centered a wide rib right here. Okay. And there's a little piece of something. And there's our bullet. That's surprising. It's lost its entire front cup. Or all the lead in the front cup. So, did not penetrate that second layer. You can see some lead. That's kind of surprising. I don't see any other chunks of lead. So let's go weigh this. Okay, now we have our fired bullets. We have the Swift A-frame on the left, Nosler Partition on the right. Both of these were fired over the same powder charge out of the 280 AI. I have chronographed this load going about 3,100 feet per second. I wasn't able to chronograph today because of the rain, but we're gonna assume that this one's going, because it's the same grain bullet, same construction, pretty close. Let's just say a little over 3,000 feet per second. So what we had with the A-frame is it went all the way through the meat target and was caught up in maybe the 4th layer of fleece. And we've got, if my math was right, I think it's right at 98% weight retention, 157 grains. I did weigh these before I loaded them. They were all within 0.1 grains of 160. So as you can see, it hasn't lost much weight, and did a very good job of penetrating at high velocity. Just to re-clarify, these were shot at 70 yards, so they hadn't lost a whole lot of speed. This is the partition. It has lost its entire front cup's worth of lead. Sorry about the glare. We're at 130 grains. If my math is correct, that's about 64% weight retention, which if we go to their manual, that's pretty close to what they claim. They do have a maximum performance velocity of unlimited, so we should be able to use them at that velocity. They just don't retain as much weight. This bullet was found, it did not go through the second layer of deer hide, so it was still in the body of my meat target. It did hit the bones maybe a little more solid, seemed like, which that's just luck of the draw. And it broke both ribs going in and coming out, but it did not penetrate all the way through. So what does this mean? I don't think this means that the partition's a bad bullet. I just think it high velocity for what I'm wanting, which is an elk load, and I would prefer an entrance and an exit wound. I will be loading my 280 AI with these Swift A-frames this year for my elk hunt. Like, again, I don't think that means that the partition's a bad bullet. At over 3,000 feet per second, it just performs differently. And for most loads, I would say if with a regular, this is almost a Magnum. It's not a Magnum cartridge, but it performs pretty much like a 7mm mag, or very close. So for a Magnum velocity round, I'm thinking that this A-frame is going to be the ticket for me. But if I was loading for my 7mm 08, I think the partition would probably be fine. It may come down to which one shoots more accurately or is a little cheaper, which neither one of these are cheap bullets. But I've already tested accuracy with this A-frame, and I know it'll shoot. I've shot a few groups under 1/2 inch, so I'm very happy with that. And with today's terminal ballistic results, I'm going to be super happy with this bullet and feel a lot of confidence about its ability to kill. So that wraps up our comparison of terminal ballistics of the Nosler Partition versus the Swift A-frame.